You're going to record.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-oh. um, so I'm going to start by saying hello, everybody. I'm Wanda Payton, and
I'm Suzanne Jessica Arriaga.
and
And tonight we're excited to present week 5, which is about self-care, food, water, exercise, and sleep. So this is going to be a good one. So each week before we get started, we'd like to take a moment just to set an intention for our time together. Normally Wanda does this, but I'm going to do it tonight. So while we're doing that, we're going to ask each one of you to silently do the same. So just take a moment and decide what it is you'd like to take away tonight. So we'd like to set the intention that we continue to build a sense of community for sharing and supporting one another while we begin to focus on processes and strategies which will support us in eating healthy, exercising, getting enough sleep, now that's a tough one sometimes, and drinking enough water in order to master our energy levels to reach our goals in 2017. So Wanda, did you want to express your intention?
I do. My intention tonight is to really learn, because a lot of this information is coming from your book, Nourish to Flourish, which is now available. And
Yes, it is.
so
Finally.
as I'm going through this class, they say teach what you need to learn, and a lot of this, though I already know it, and a lot of this stuff I was talking to Michelle during the week, and we know a lot of this, theoretically, but it's really to get some of this information I didn't really know as much as I now know, reading through it and practicing for tonight's class. So my intention is to soak it all in. And to really present it in a way that's digestible and usable for all of the participants. Okay, so let's talk about housekeeping again. So once again, we really want to make this an amazing meeting, and we are recording, so we want to remind you of the following, that we're going to continue to record the meeting, but in consideration of any comments or group interactions in which we might want to remain private, we will pause the recording during the exercise feedback portion and begin the recording when that portion is completed. And then also, as you all know, the YouTube recording will be available to you on Monday. This is going to be a good one to record and to play back, because there is a lot of really good information here that you might want to listen to and take notes from the PowerPoints, and you're welcome to do that. Then, of course, the more you participate, and I'm so glad you're on, Michelle, because she was trying to participate and couldn't before, but the more you participate, the more you will receive. That's obvious. So please take a moment, participate during our interaction segments. And then lastly, please be conscious of any background noises, and you all have been just marvelous at doing that. Or if you're driving at a busy background, please mute yourself, *6. Please remember, though, to unmute yourself when you want to speak. So here we go. Questions from last week's exercises. How many of you were able to use the processes to control any negative emotions you may have had? Anybody? Did anybody read through that, the exercises on controlling conquering negative emotions? And were you able to use any of the exercises?
I did. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wanda?
Yes.
Hi, this is Monica. I had to log in on my phone. I
Hey,
can't log in
Monica.
on the computer for some reason. Hi. Yeah, I don't know why I can't log in on the computer, but I did make a conscientious effort to try to, the one about putting up boundaries basically with negativity in people that I was around, and not letting myself get kind of sucked into the drama that tends to take part in some people that I love dearly, but you know, it repeats itself, and I have a hard time.
Okay, so tonight's class, we're going to start with that. Recognizing that you need to nurture and cherish your body is absolutely essential to leading a happy, flourishing life. We all know this. Food is central to all of our lives. You know, we celebrate holidays, weddings, graduations with food. I can remember even, you know, when I celebrated getting a new listing, it was like, or a closing. It was like, oh, what can I go eat? Let's go celebrate. We drown our sorrows with it. And of course, you know, you see this at funerals a lot, and have power lunches with it. Yet many of us have mixed emotions about food. I know that I have. It can be difficult to make healthy choices when faced with a piece of cake or at a wedding or graduation, and the desire to indulge in the celebration makes it easy to get carried away and just go along with the crowd. Or you might want to spoil yourself with a bag of chips after a bad day at work. But does that really serve us? What you choose to eat determines the number of nutrients that you consume and the amount of energy you bring into your body. So when you eat fresh, whole, organic foods, your body is affected quite differently than when you consume processed foods, and I know that we know this, containing chemicals, artificial colorings, hormones, and antibiotics. Your attitudes and your beliefs about yourself determine the food choices that you make.
So true. And I think we talked about this in our little introductory class too, but it's so true that junk food is everywhere, literally. You can find chips, candy, hamburgers, and all those processed healthy foods like lean cuisine, things like that, at the grocery store. Junk food is also at the vending machines, along the checkout aisle, or like any store that you go to, office supply store, the clothing store, even the car wash. We're bombarded by junk food, and I know a lot of you are realtors. At the office, kitchen, tons of junk food there normally, or any kitchen. Everywhere I've ever worked, there's been junk food in there. And even at the doctor's office, think about it. What's at the doctor's office? A bowl of lollipops, right? So no wonder we're a society of overfed and undernourished individuals. We eat all the wrong food at the wrong time. Sometimes we treat our precious bodies worse than we treat our own enemy. But I know, of course, that nobody wakes up in the morning, I know I don't, and says, today I'm going to only eat food that makes me fat and more likely to develop chronic disease. But if you're in the habit of skipping breakfast, or worse yet, you eat fast food in the morning, and then you continue on and have a processed meal for lunch, a pizza for dinner because you're too tired to cook. In other words, processed food isn't just the hamburger and fries at McDonald's. It's any food. This is the key here. Any food in a box, plastic, or other packages at the grocery store. I know that it's nearly impossible not to buy anything processed, but when you stick to this rule that I write about in my book, the 5-ingredient rule, 5 ingredients you can pronounce rule, you'll really improve your health. So if you have to buy processed foods like bread, or obviously we're going to buy bread, then make sure you buy something that just has 5 ingredients. The fresher, the better. Because what you put in your mouth and in your body really affects how you feel, what your emotional energy is, and it either nourishes you or harms you. So the food we eat really affects, it's not just about the calories, it's about actually what is the food we're eating. So we really need to kick that junk food out of our lives.
So now let's build on that by making those whole foods you eat organic, local, and non-GMO, which stands for genetically modified organisms, as much as possible. You know, when I was growing up, we didn't know the difference. I don't remember even having a choice of organic and non-organic. It's something that I have moved into. If we did, my mom wasn't focused in on it. But buying organic meals means food means buying food produced without the use of chemically formulated fertilizers, growth hormones, antibiotics, or pesticides. Buying local means buying produce, milk, meat, and dairy from farms in your area. So a great way to do this is to shop at farmers market. And when you do shop, shop organic and local. You're buying the highest quality of food that you can, and you're supporting your local farms and your local vendors. I know over here at Victoria Gardens, they have a great farmers market, and there's another one, I think, in Rancho, and there's one in Claremont. Great way to buy organic foods.
Yeah, I think the one is Fridays at Victoria Gardens, and it's Sundays in Claremont. Both of those are really good. And one thing you can do too is you can ask, because those people that are there selling the fruits and vegetables are the people that produce it. So you can ask them if they use pesticides or fertilizers. Most of them didn't, but you can ask them. So it's a really good way to shop. But for sure, when you do shop, and if you do go to the regular grocery store, there's something called the Dirty Dozen. And these fruits and vegetables are the most heavily pesticided or sprayed with pesticides, because they're usually more delicate, so they get a lot of bugs and things on them. So you want to for sure buy strawberries, apples, nectarines, peaches, celery, grapes, cherries, spinach, tomatoes, sweet bell peppers, potatoes, and lettuce organic. Because these are the 12, they call them the Dirty Dozen, because they've just been sprayed with so many pesticides, it's not even funny. So if you can't make your way to the farmer's market, at least when you go to the grocery store, make sure that you're picking up these ones organic. So why should you buy non-GMO foods? Because if you buy something that's non-GMO, you're buying a product that isn't genetically modified. That's what GMO means. You're buying a food that hasn't had its genetic code altered. Growers genetically modify foods for a variety of reasons, including making the food hardier, so it's easier to grow, and it can survive in a wider range of climates. They also try to enable the fruit or vegetable to produce chemicals that repel insects and other pests. And sometimes they genetically modify them to change the size. When you see those Mambo apples or Mambo things, they've probably been genetically modified, and to make it more appealing to consumers. So growers also douse those GMO plants with more pesticides, meaning they have even higher levels of toxins. So obviously this isn't good for us. So it's a good idea to really, when you buy, especially processed foods, you want to buy them organic, and you want to look for this little non-GMO Project Verified on there. And one of the most genetically modified foods is actually corn. So anytime you buy corn, you buy corn tortillas, you buy corn on the cob, a lot of things have corn in it, corn flakes. You want to really make sure either this genetic non-GMO project is on it or it's organic.
Wow. Well, as it says in your book, superfoods are jam-packed with nutrients, and they don't make up a food group like grains, proteins, vegetables, or fruits. Rather, these superfoods hail from all food groups, and their one unifying trait is that they all pack a nutritional punch. Many of them are delicious as well as nutritious. So incorporating them into your diet can make an enormous difference in your nutritional status. So here are some superfoods to add to your diet. I love this list when I read it. Try to get at least five of these a day. So we're looking at Greek yogurt, quinoa, blueberries, kale, which I put in my smoothie every day, oatmeal, green tea, broccoli, salmon, spinach, eggs, almonds, ginger, I love for inflammation, beans, apples, garlic, lentils, tomatoes, nut butters, avocados, extra virgin olive oil, flaxseed, and dark chocolate. Dark chocolate, we can do that. So get that in at least 5 of these a day.
Well, and it's pretty easy to get them on. I try to get all mine in the morning. I always get 5 in pretty easily in the morning. Even if let's just say you have oatmeal, you put blueberries on it, a couple almonds, maybe some nut butter or flaxseed, put a little Greek yogurt on it, and you've had more than 5 superfoods right there. So it's pretty easy to do. You just have to be aware of what they are and make a plan to incorporate them into your diet. Which leads us on to the next tip, is that when it comes to nourishing your body, there's really nothing better than cooking from scratch with healthy ingredients. And home cooking, believe it or not, is one of the keys to creating the life that you desire. To think about it, how you treat yourself affects your mood, which in turn affects your thoughts, which in turn affects your emotions, and then your vibrational status. So if you don't cook now, or if you cook unhealthy foods, try to start cooking healthy foods and see how it makes you feel to prepare delicious and nutrient-packed meals using some of these superfoods and other, healthy foods for your friends and family. So another little key to eating is to fill up on the good stuff. As a rule of thumb, when plating, and this is pretty obvious too, but instead of measuring, or doing Weight Watchers and any of those crazy things, as a rule of thumb, when plating, you can use these precision nutrition guidelines, which is one of the schools where I have a coaching certification from. So basically, for protein, it's the size of the palm of your hand. You probably heard that before. Starchy carbohydrates, rice, whole grains, pasta, size of your fist. Vegetables, size of your baseball or more. Fruit, size of baseball. And then fats, the size of like 2 tips of your thumb. So that'd be like avocado, olive oil, whatever. It makes it really easy to just make sure you're not, eating too much of one thing. I know for me, love my starchy carbs, so I need to really make sure that I'm looking at a fist size rather than 2 fist sizes.
That's interesting and helpful. Well, if you're like most people, and like me, you love a sweet treat. It's one of the challenges I have, I must admit. But depending on what that sweet treat is, it may be creating chaos in my life and my body and my mind. A juicy peach is packed with nutrients and is incredibly sweet. Now, I agree with that, and I'm so glad that summer fruits are coming back into the grocery stores. A perfect sweet craving satisfier is that peach. A store-bought chocolate chip cookie, on the other hand, which I also love, is filled with chemicals and unhealthy fats. But if I ate the peach first, it would take away my craving for the chocolate chip cookie. I don't know about you guys, but it would work for me. Many processed foods are full of hidden added sugars, which is why it's important to read those labels. Sugar isn't always labeled as sugar, however, we know that. It can be listed as agave, nectar, brown sugar, cane crystals, cane sugar, corn sweetener, corn syrup, crystalline, fructose, dextrose, evaporated cane syrup, and you get the picture. So sometimes processed food labels will list several of these ingredients, trying to trick us into believing that the product doesn't have as much sugar as it really does.
And if you do have a big sugar craving, don't feel bad, because studies have shown that actually sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. So that's why we just sometimes crave it so badly, and that's why it's really important to be aware of your cravings and also be aware of those hidden sugars that Wanda was talking about, and really reaching for that peach, or I like to make like a little peach cobbler thing, which is like a little tiny bit of coconut sugar and nuts and stuff, and then make like a baked peach, and that kind of will tame my sugar demon. But don't feel bad if you have it, because it's 8 times more addictive than cocaine, and cocaine is very addictive. So now on to another subject that could be addictive. Alcohol consumption is really a hot button issue for a lot of people, right? For many people, Friday night or, Thursday night or whatever night equals happy hour or cocktails, or sometimes people fancy a craft beer on Sunday afternoon watching a game or something. But the key here is drinking enhancing or hindering your life's potential? Every year, there's new headlines regarding alcohol, and particularly wine. Some saying it's healthy for you, others saying it has despicable consequences. You can find studies, numerous studies, and articles to substantiate claims on either side of the debate. The bottom line, though, is that wine or alcohol isn't necessary for good health. But does it hurt you? Here's some more interesting information about wine consumption that I hope will help you make a decision about your own alcohol intake. And I know a lot of times we celebrate with alcohol when we close a deal, we get a new job, I don't know, it's Friday, whatever. But here's some things that could help you make a decision. If you're having trouble sleeping, alcohol does disrupt your sleep. You may think that you sleep better after a nightcap, but really, it can awaken you at like 3 a.m. It can also cloud your judgment, as we know. Alcohol lets your guard down and enables you to chill out, but it also, and I know this, can lead to uncharacteristic behaviors and decisions that we regret. It also lowers your vibration. And remember, our whole class here is about mastering our energy. So alcohol is actually a depressant, and it lowers our vibrational status, it deadens our senses, and really disconnects us from, like we talked a couple weeks back about, from the universe and from the infinite power of God. So you just might want to take a look about your drinking habits. And
I think
I think it little devil here.
I think it needs to be said too. It's really over drinking, or a glass of wine with dinner, or we're not talking about that. And if it gets to the point where people aren't able to sleep, their judgments are clouded, they're doing things that they really, really regret the next day, then they might want to take a look at their drinking habits.
Right.
And that, I've coached a lot of, especially women, who I say, when they come in to coach with me, they'll tell me these stories, and they never mention how much wine they had. And the first question I ask is, was there alcohol involved? Oh, yeah, there was alcohol involved. I'm like, well, voila, here's part of the problem. So,
yep.
Yeah, keep an eye on anything that doesn't enhance your health and your emotional stability, because we are genetically encoded to move as well. Our body is meant to walk, run, jump, swim, lift weights, dance, stretch, twist, dip, and squat. The more you move, the more your body wants to move. Moving increases your happiness. On the other hand, not exercising is and can be a depressant. Sitting around watching television or playing video games doesn't serve the body or the mind. And I think for most of my clients anyway, it's not about video games. It's just about working all the time and taking care of the family and not taking care of themselves. Exercising combats depression, though, by releasing endorphins, and we've seen that. Natural chemicals that act like painkillers. Aerobic activity pumps up the serotonin in the body and the neurotransmitters that boost the mood. Plus, exercising may alter brain chemistry in the same way that antidepressant drugs do. You see many psychiatrists and psychologists saying that their clients who really began to change their habits and engage in exercising found that they either were using less antidepressants, or they, oddly enough, didn't need them at all. So exercise may alter the brain chemistry in the same way that antidepressants do. So research has shown that the more physically active people report, the greater feelings of enthusiasm, and they're less than their less active counterparts. So for me, getting up in the morning and going for a walk, and then I'm going to be incorporating some yoga and maybe a little bit of weight training. But just the walk in itself shifts my mood completely. And it motivates me to get out there and do it the next day. The benefits of exercise. So, in summary, stress reduction, weight control, it lowers blood pressure, you sleep better, decreased inflammation, it improves your immunity, more energy, improved memory, higher confidence, and increased happiness. When you get all that going, it does increase your happiness.
For sure. I always feel so much better when I exercise. And I haven't been exercising for the last 2 weeks since I've been sick, and oh my gosh, I can feel it in my mood. So this is Wanda's favorite form of exercise, walking, right?
Right.
And this is kind of interesting because throughout history, many of the great thinkers and creators, from Beethoven to Dickens, have taken long walks. But today, a lot of us spend all our time, like Wanda said, tied to our desks in the office, sitting in our cars in traffic, right? Or watching television, if you do that, in our homes instead of being outside. Or sometimes if we do exercise, we're spending hours in the four walls of artificial light in the gym, whiling away our time on the treadmill, the stationary bike, the stair stepper, the elliptical, or whatever, instead of walking outside. So walks in nature, as Wanda has said many, many times during our sessions, enjoying that sunshine in the outdoors, or contemplating life, or simply the day ahead, are really the mainstay also of many great leaders around the world. So it's interesting. So if you look at this information, people who are very successful walk. And of course, as with all exercising, walking helps you to be more productive. Like we said, strengthens your memory, lifts your spirits, and keeps you healthier. But walking has also been proven to make you more creative. It's probably why you come up with all the good ideas when you're on your walk, Wanda, huh?
Yeah, I must be.
And the reason that it does that is because you don't have to devote conscious effort to walking, right? Your mind is free to wander, develop insights and innovative ideas. I love walking too. I love, when I think about it, just being out in nature, hearing the birds chirp, smelling the scents of the flowers, taking all the greeneries and the vistas. It's just really one of the best forms of exercise. And if you're not walking now, it's a good thing to kind of incorporate into your exercise routine as well.
So now let's talk about sleeping. I don't know if you all have a problem sleeping or if that's an issue for you, but sleep is actually one of the most essential activities to generating your body, your mind, and your soul. Not getting the right amount or the right kind of sleep can increase your cortisol levels, leading to like a host of problems, including insulin resistance, suppressed immunity, high blood sugar. Who knew? Carbohydrate cravings. Who knew? And reduced libido. Who knew? Studies indicate that people who sleep less than 4 hours a night are more likely to be obese. Interesting. Your mental focus is also impaired when you don't get enough good quality sleep. It's important to, absolutely necessary actually, to rejuvenate your body, as that's when your cells repair themselves. So when it becomes dark outside, your body secretes this hormone called melatonin, which regulates the circadian rhythms of your physiology functions. But living a busy life with all of your devices, television, laptop, iPad, cell phone, can hinder your sleep pattern. And so, because these devices emit a higher concentration of blue light, that natural light, which affects the level of melatonin. So more blue light than natural light. And that affects your melatonin in your body and can shift your body's natural clock. You know, having read this and you know, we talked about this the other day. I now, because I do have devices in my room, and I
Mhm.
found myself last night just completely turning everything off. And I did get a really, really good night's sleep. So that might, I usually don't have a problem falling asleep, but I'm sure during the night when I hear or see the lighting, you know, maybe on the on my computer screen, it affects me. So this is really good stuff for me.
Well, and if you are having issues with sleeping, some suggestions to get a better night's sleep are obviously you need a good mattress. You know that I think it's Sit and Sleep that says if it's been 8, replace. Pretty true. If you're sleeping on a lumpy, bumpy, uncomfortable mattress, no matter, um, you're probably not getting a good night's rest. And I know I recently got a new mattress and it made a huge difference. I had a Tempur-Pedic mattress, great mattress, right? Really expensive mattress, but it was too hard for me. And then I got a new softer one, and now I sleep much better.
Mm.
So, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the more expensive mattress is the better mattress. Another key is to make sure your room is dark. Buy blackout curtains if you need to, and then like we just talked about, unplug, turn off all those devices at least an hour before you go to bed. Don't bring your phone in your bed with you. If you really want to get a good night's rest, it's really imperative to unplug earlier the better. Another thing that I like to do is I love me some lavender oil. If you still have trouble falling asleep, try lavender oil applied to the soles of the feet, or try natural sleep aid like melatonin. They have a lot of them at Sprouts or, well, we don't have Whole Foods yet, but we're going to soon, or Trader Joe's. And then here's another key, too, that I think really works, is to recap your day before you fall asleep. While you're lying in bed, recap your day, what you did, who you talked to, how you felt. And here's the key thing, too, is to forgive yourself for anything you did wrong so you're not beating yourself up as you're going to sleep. And then here comes that gratitude again. Review the things that went right. What things were you grateful for? And really tap into your gratitude as you're falling off to sleep.
Mm.
There's really no better way to end the day than with self-forgiveness and gratitude. And this is a practice that I try to employ, and when I do it, it really helps a lot.
You know, one of the processes that I teach when I'm coaching is segment intending, which is simply intending how you want that segment of your day to unfold, just like we do when we start these courses, these classes each week. And segment intending before you go to bed might look like this. I intend to have a restful night, to release any thoughts that are not enhancing my peace of mind, and rest well and awaken refreshed and start my day with gratitude for a good night's sleep, and then begin to set an intention for the first part of your day. I intend to have a great morning, a good hair day, to find the perfect outfit, to exercise, um, you know, in a way that will be enhancing to me. So that's just a little side note. Tonight before you go to bed, set an intention that you're going to have a great night. Um, so here's a question. Did you know that 60 to 70% of your body is made up of water? Bet you didn't know that. Every cell in your body needs water to survive and thrive. Water is essential to all living beings on Earth, from the flowers to the trees to the animals in the forests, all the way to humans. Water heals, it hydrates, it assists the body in excreting waste products. Yet we don't drink enough of it. If your if your fluid levels are too low or polluted, some of the waste products will be trapped in your cells, and damage and disease will occur. So you need to have healthy cells to have a healthy body and mind. Unfortunately, they say 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated, which can cause fatigue, joint pain, a false sense of hunger. Not drinking enough water can also slow down your metabolism. You should be drinking, watch this, half your body weight in ounces of water every day. That's a lot of peeing, I know. This means that if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be drinking at least 75 ounces of water per day. And if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking at least 100 ounces of water a day. Even if you did half of that, it would probably be better than what you're doing now. I know it would for me. Become more aware of how much water you drink. Fill up your bottles with the amount of water that you need to drink for each day, and then drink a glass upon rising, and take the water bottles with you during your day. I know you do this all the time, Suzanne. Every time I
Yes,
see you have a bottle of water, because that way
I do.
you're conscious. And it's not just water. It's the alkaline water, which is even better, right? The smart water.
Right. A lot of times I do buy the alkaline water, which is better for you. But yes, every day I fill up my bottles and I drink them every day. That's one thing I do without, and it's very important. And I do notice when I don't do it, I am fatigued. This is also true. So now we're going to talk a little bit about self-care. One of the best ways to fill up your self-love tank, so to speak, is to practice self-care. Scurrying around and claiming that you're too busy to take care of yourself is not loving yourself. Scurrying around saying you got to take care of your family, your husband, your dog, your work, whatever. You need to take care of your body, mind, and spirit on a regular basis. And if you do, your sense of well-being will soar. You might believe you have too many responsibilities, that you don't have time to indulge in a scented bath or a massage or some other form of self-care. But the reality is that we need to take care of ourselves in order to be whole. Although self-care doesn't really reap the health benefits as noticeably as a healthy diet and exercise, it really can help prevent chronic stress and contribute to a better sense of self-esteem. When you take care of yourself and your life, you tend to love yourself more. So practicing self-care allows you to have some private time away from your family, away from work, and it's only going to make you a better parent or spouse or employee. It's going to make you stronger and happier, more productive. So it's really important to block that off in your calendar, just like you block off all your appointments at work. You need to block that time off to recharge yourself. And self-care can mean different things to different people. That's why we have this little graphic up here. So you need to find out what you enjoy and what nurtures your body and spirit. There's one of my favorite right there, gardening. Although that's work, it's self-care as well.
Yes.
And here's some more suggestions, right, Wanda?
Take a walk. Get a massage. I love this one. Read for pleasure. And I was thinking about our park down here in Rancho Cucamonga, Red Hill Park. Would be a very cool place right now. It's not too hot to take a lawn chair and take my iPad and which has got Kindle or even my audio books and read for fun. Listen to fictional stories and just take myself away from learning and trying to educate myself, but just for the fictional fun of it. Meditate, take a detox bath, treat yourself to a healthy meal, go to the movies, organize your office or your kitchen or your garage, go to church, paint or do a craft project, and get a manicure or pedicure. I'm pretty good at that. Make a healthy lunch and eat it. I was thinking about doing that, eating it, at the park while I'm reading. I'd never have done that. That might be a first for me. Outside in the sunshine, and journal your thoughts and feelings.
So they're all great suggestions. I really love doing the lunch thing and eating outside. It's one of the best. So now we're going to talk a little bit about meditation. When I was in college, I was an avid beach goer, and I used to ride my bike to the beach every day to study. And on my ride, I would see this group of people that were meditating. And back then I would think, what in the heck are they doing? And how can they sit there so silently and so still for so long? And at that time in my life, I really thought that meditation was for hippies and people from other religions unknown to me. And maybe you envision the same thing, a long bearded yogi sitting cross-legged on a pillow chanting unrecognizable sounds with their eyes closed and think meditation isn't for you. But I assure you that to nourish yourself in your life, that meditation is really key. It's really helped me a lot. In fact, it's one of the best ways to help you live in the present moment, which we're actually going to talk a little bit more about that in a couple weeks. It allows your mind to become more relaxed and inwardly focused. It helps you to not focus on the problems of the day and that monkey chatter and those rants or those ants and those ramblings of your thoughts, but you're focusing on your connection with yourself, God, the universe, whatever you call it. And meditation isn't about forcing that little drunk monkey to shut up. It's about finding the peace that actually already exists in our mind. And in that silence of present moment awareness, you can really, it doesn't really include any thoughts of the past or concerns of the future if you're in that present moment meditating.
You know,
And
they say that prayer is when you talk to God, and meditation is when God talks to you.
yeah,
That's why it's
so true.
important to just be still, and listen, and breathe, and suspend your thoughts. Suspend your thoughts, suspend your thoughts, and listen. Some ways to incorporate meditation into our life would be, if you're really interested, find a meditation class near you. Attend a meditation retreat. Sit comfortably, either cross-legged or on the floor or seated in a chair. And always close your eyes. Just go deep inside. Meditate in a quiet spot that's free of distractions, because your mind will be trying to distract you. Trust me. But the more you just breathe and suspend, the more successful you'll be at this. Make sure you won't be disturbed during your meditation. Meditate in the morning. Aim to sit for 15 to 30 minutes. Don't eat anything before meditating either. Focus your mind. Practice gratitude at the end of your meditation. It really elevates your spirit.
Well, that is our presentation for tonight on self-care, food, water, sleep, and exercise. We really hope that you're able to take something away, some new ideas, or maybe remember what you should be doing. Hopefully you're taking away some new processes that will help to support you in creating more self-care in your life.
I just want to say that a lot of the content tonight was from Suzanne's book, Nourish to Flourish, which is now available where, Suzanne?
On Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Balboa Press website.
Yay! Congratulations!
Yay. Thank you.
Okay, now time
Thank
for
you so much.
interaction. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or ahas about tonight's session? We're waiting to hear from you.
Michelle, I'll just add to it that if you don't buy it and bring it in the house, you don't have to worry about eating it. So if you leave the junk food in the store, you don't have to worry about being tempted by it. And like you said, if you go to Sprouts, Sprouts really don't sell a lot of junk food, so you won't be tempted with what you shouldn't eat.
Good
That's so
thoughts.
true, and that's what I write in my book. That's what I write in my book. I say that even if you get a craving, you might drive to 31 Flavors and get an ice cream cone. And if you do, that's fine. But it's not just going to be, you're going to have thought about it and then do it rather than it's just sitting there on your counter. You're just like macking down unconsciously on a bunch of cookies,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Did you find this helpful tonight?
Yes. For me, it was you need to find time for myself. I have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I try the best I can, but it's, it's just really hard sometimes. I think I need to work on that a little more.
With 3 kids, right?
Yeah, with 3 kids and
Uh-huh.
working. It's just too much.
Yeah, sometimes we have to make an appointment with ourselves, and then we have to have someone fill in for us. We have to have a partner that fills in that says, "Hey, babe," or friend,
That's
or
true.
whatever. Just
Yeah.
take a couple
I
hours
have my
off.
sister. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have my sister once in a while. So sometimes, so I have a problem with, like my husband doesn't have a problem with having an appointment to go take a vacation. But I always, I'm always the one that says, no, we can't. It's going to be too much. We can't miss.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I have to force myself and let him know, okay, I think I do need to take this weekend or
Absolutely.
something like that. So, but sometimes it's really hard for me to really make that step, that move. But after hearing this, I think I feel a little better
Good.
going on a vacation for at least a weekend, no
Yeah.
open houses.
Yeah. And
Yeah, just
I would
one
encourage you
weekend.
to notice how you feel when you get back. You feel more rejuvenated, more focused, more,
Uh-huh.
because you've given into what your body really needs, which is a change of scenery, even when you take the kids, you know.
Yeah, I know. But sometimes you just get, oh, what if something happened? Just all that thought, that monkey
Oh, the
in my
drunk
head.
monkey. Well, don't take the drunk monkey with you. I
I
guarantee
know,
you won't have a good time.
I gotta leave them all back.
Well, and I think
Totally.
that's where some of those suggestions that we have, like just having that, I mean, you probably eat lunch every day, just
Uh-huh.
bringing your chair to the park one day and eating your lunch in the park and reading for a little bit. I mean, that's the kind of thing, those easier things, like instead of making it a huge thing, like just kind of trying to incorporate those smaller things into your life can really be beneficial as far as self-care goes.
And then too,
Uh-huh.
You might
letting
want to
go
think
of
about it.
control and trusting,
Yeah.
because you don't have to
Yeah, that's
control it all. I hear you.
I
I hear
know
a lot of
that's
control
another
there.
part. That's another part. I'm working on it.
Well, good. Thank you for participating. We appreciate that. So next, we have some really good workbook exercises and energy notes for you that are going to be posted. They are amazing. I was looking over, for an example, I have a sweet tooth and how to really surrender to that sweet tooth from a healthy perspective. Suzanne, that was amazing with all of that whole list of frozen grapes and frozen yogurt and the other ideas that would totally do that for me. They'd really help me. So thank you for
And I
that.
think this this week's workbook exercises are hopefully you guys will all do them, are going to kind of make you do the things we talked about tonight, like clean out your pantry and take some time for self-care and try some meditation. So, and then kind of, journal how that went. So that's kind of what the workbook exercise is for this week.
And Hannah, I want you to take at least 15 minutes of self-care sometime this week.
Okay.
I don't care what it is,
Okay.
just 15 minutes. And
Okay.
challenge yourself not to worry and know your kids are okay and everything is not going to fall to pieces for 15 minutes.
Okay. I'll
Okay?
try. Okay.
All right. Good girl. So, Suzanne, oh, and then I did mention the energy notes will be there too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
All right. Well, so congratulations, everyone, on taking the 5th step to mastering your energy to reach your goals in 2017. And as you embark on this week, may we collectively set an intention for each other.
mm-hmm.
That when we're choosing what to eat, whether or not to exercise, how much water to drink, and sleep enough that some of these suggestions we've discussed will come to mind, and you'll be able to activate them and choose the right food, exercise, and self-care. Thank you all for being here tonight, for your participation, and we will see you next week for the power of optimism and the power of gratitude.
Mm.
Before we
Yeah,
say good
before we
night,
say
we
good
want to do
night.
another little group
Okay.
affirmation. You want to go ahead and, you can go ahead and do the affirmation, Wanda.
Okay, I'll count to 3 and say it to yourself as I say it, as I read it aloud. So our affirmation for tonight and for you to take with you for the entire next 7 days is this. I choose to be healthy, happy, and full of love. I choose to be healthy, happy,
Healthy, happy,
and
and
full
full of
of
love.
love. God bless each and every one of you and have a great week.
Yes,
Thank
thanks
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.